Welcome back. It's now been 8 years since dancer, choreographer and actress Nomsa Manaka has been in remission from ovarian cancer. Her recovery journey birthed the Dancing Out of Cancer Festival taking place at the Soweto Theatre on the 8th and the 9th of March. And this year, the festival celebration that combines a fun run and walk with an exhilarating music and dance festival. And this event aims to raise crucial funds to support cancer patients and spread the awareness about the disease. And Nomsa joins us now in studio for more. A very good morning to you, Nomsa. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning to you.
It is so good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Oh, wow. I'm so happy that I'm in your presence. First of all, can you share a bit about your journey with cancer and how dance played a role in your healing process?
Yeah, actually, 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. And I remember the doctor was treating me because, you know, there's nothing he could do. And my son, who's a poet, came to me and said, in my deathbed, and said, "Mama, you have got to write a book and call it Dancing Out of Cancer."
Wow.
And I remember looking at him, I'm thinking, I like that. And I think that gave me the zest to wake up, to say, I am going to do this. Because every day I started thinking of how am I going to start doing this? How am I going to start walking again? Because, you know, I was in that bed. I couldn't walk again because it was so hard. And when I started walking again, I was like, you watch me. Dance, here I come. And dance healed me one step at a time. You know, one movement a day really healed me. And that's how Dancing Out of Cancer was born. And I said, if dance could do that to me, what else can it do to other people? And for me, my relationship with dance, this is another big thing that really helped me. When my son had his accident, I helped him through dance. So can you see the connection with me and dance?
Is definitely a connection, yeah.
So please, dance is a very big thing. It's very therapeutic.
I would imagine. And I can't begin to imagine the pain and the frustration and the anxiety that you felt during that period. In fact, the pain that is felt by all cancer patients, generally speaking. So what really gave you the zeal to keep on fighting on? My
grandchildren. I have 3 grandchildren.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I want to see my grandchildren graduate.
Yeah.
And besides, I still had a lot of life in me. I still had a lot to give to the society, you know. The children that I teach dance in Claptown, in Soweto, made me want to wake up and say, there's still so much I can still give to my community. So that's the thing that really made me, that gave me the zeal and made me to want to stand up and actually be where I am today and be this today.
And there's no better person to talk about dancing out of cancer than yourself, because you've been through there, you've been through the pain, and you triumphed through it all. So let's talk about this particular festival, how it's structured and where it will be, and you know what it seems to achieve.
So on the 8th of March, which is next week, we have a childhood cancer awareness walk. It's a 5 kilometer and an 8 kilometer. And 8 kilometer is 200 rands and 5 kilometer is 150. And on the 9th, we have a festival where we're celebrating adult cancers. So what we are doing here, we're giving those that have cancer, we're giving them the will to say you can do it. And we're saying thank you to caregivers, and we're celebrating as cancer survivors. So that's where we're celebrating. That's why we have this huge festival. And what way to say thank you, we are healed. We are here to enjoy life, you know, and that's through music, dance, and poetry.
And I suppose walking is another great medium, you know, to express your zeal for life, to express the fact that you are healed or you are healing from whatever is afflicting you. And I suppose that changed your perspective on life in general and in community involvement, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know what cancer did to me, made me to stop sweating the small stuff. I no longer make a mountain out of a mole. If it happens, it happens. So I'm very happy. I'm in a
Because life
very
is
good
short.
space. Because life is too short.
Yeah.
For me, every day is a celebration. So, you know, one of the things for me, childhood cancer is so important. I didn't know that kids have cancer until I went to the Zakiti Nkosi at Bara, and I saw this, and I went to CHOC, and I saw what CHOC are doing, and I was extremely impressed by CHOC, and that's why the proceeds of the walk are going to CHOC.
Yeah.
So, and to say, thank you for what you're doing to our community. Let us also do something, you know? So that's why we have this childhood cancer walk.
And it's quite heartwarming to see the level of collaboration between you know, yourselves and other organizations. In fact, we had CHOC just a couple of weeks ago here on the show.
Oh, nice.
And let's talk about, you know, how you envision Dancing Out of Cancer Festival growing in terms of community upliftment and helping those who are affected and infected with cancer.
One of the biggest problems is when you get diagnosed with cancer, you don't talk, you keep it to yourself. And that's what kills you as a cancer patient. Because the first thing you start thinking, how am my family going to take it? What are my kids going to say? And that's what eats you, right? And so through Dancing Out of Cancer, we want to start addressing those kind of things. And we want to start saying to the community, cancer is not something that kills you anymore. You know, you can get cured from cancer. You're not bewitched, you know, because that's one of the first things that in the African community, they think when you have cancer, you have been bewitched. So those are the things that we start addressing. And then to say to people, when you have cancer, you don't have leprosy. There's a sad story of this woman that the family didn't want her to say, do you have, are you insured? What's going to happen to your children when you die? And those are the kind of stories we hear, and that's so sad. And those are the things we're addressing. And what we want to do with Dancing Out of Cancer, we want it to go national, because cancer doesn't only affect people in Gauteng. It's a national thing, it's a global thing. So that's what we want to do, to take it out, that whilst we are still sending across the message through dance and music and celebrating, but let's learn. So that's why we say Nomsa Manaka dance beat is edutainment. So through entertainment, we are educating as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I quite like the question that you asked earlier on, you know, when someone is asked whether they are insured and how will the family be taken care of in case of their passing. And I wish that government officials would be part of this festival, be part of the walk, so that a multiplicity of conversations should be had about access to treatment, because cancer treatment is very, very costly.
It is.
Yeah, so what kinds of conversations are you hoping that would be had as part of this walk and as part of, you know, just a call to action to the government and to all health authorities in terms of making treatment to cancer accessible to all?
Right. Fortunately, we have the MEC of Health who will be there, who will be working with us.
Great stuff.
And she will be talking at the festival, you know, and she will be addressing these issues, you know, of how do people get immediate treatment. Because in government healthcare, the problem that we have is that you go to the healthcare department and you get diagnosed with cancer, and then they give you another 6 months to say, okay, come after 6 months for chemo, and cancer doesn't play, hey? Once you get diagnosed with cancer, it needs to be treated immediately. So with our government of hospitals, that's where the problem is, and that's why we have such a high death rate in cancer. So that's one of the things that the MEC will be addressing, you know, and she will be bringing all her testing stations for people to be tested right there and there, you know. So we're hoping, these issues will be addressed in full.
Okay. Did you encounter any problems, stumbling blocks and challenges in your recovery process? And at what point in your recovery did dance come into play? Did dance come during the recovery process or after, as part of you know, a victory celebration of your recovery?
Dance came through during my diagnosis, during chemo. In my head, I danced in my head. When I got that chemo, when I was throwing up, when I was going through all the terrible stuff that chemo does to you, I was dancing in my head, You know, even when I was really giving up, in my head I was dancing, and that's what really kept me going. That's what kept me alive. Until, as I said before, when my son gave me this title, Dancing Out of Cancer. So it just added on it, you know. And the recovery and the diagnosis, when I remember the second time when cancer recurred in 2021, I didn't have money, right, to go to be treated. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go to a government hospital and it's going to take long for them to start treating me. And friends came into being. And even today, I still thank my friends. One friend of mine said, but Nomsa, if one of us can come, how much do you need? I said, it's about 100,000. And I mean, that's a lot of money to put together. And said, we're gonna come together and do that. And that's what they did. And that's why they gave to me. And for me, this is how I pay back to the community.
All right.
You know, to say, hey, please, let's all go out and let's all do this.
Nomsa, great chatting to you. You've been a source of inspiration for so many cancer patients. And I suppose one key takeaway to what you just said is that you were dancing in your head.
Yes.
And that sort of gives you the strength, you know, to keep on pushing on. The same strength that cancer patients out there will be needing. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. Well, that was the legendary dancer Nomsa Manaka talking to us about the 8th Dancing Out of Cancer Festival happening at Soweto Theatre next weekend.